Coming to yeehaw! I'm sticking with this Jack Black team for 2 weeks because it's working. I'm on with our main man, Steeler fan extraordinaire, Kyle Shantz. How you doing?
Hello, hello.
How you feeling today?
You know, I'm feeling great. Our picks are looking real good all around.
Oh, yeah, I can't complain. Last 3 weeks, Fab 5, 13-1-1. Last week, we went 4-1 in our Fab 5, 2-0 in our Moneyline Dogs. And if I see correctly here, you, me, and Andrew all finished top 10. I went 11-5, you went 10-6, and Andrew went 11-5. You fell in 5th place, my friends. Quite a bounce back.
I did. There was a lot of haters out there casting that shade at me, and I said, it's one down week. Give me a break. And I took my friend's advice. Zach told me take the Ravens. I took the Ravens to cover, and they got that late cover. And you know what? It's the only time I'm happy to see the Ravens do anything in my favor.
That's gambling for you. It'll turn your bias world and fandom right upside down. I had the Ravens big, and I turned the game off when it was 23-3, 22-3, whatever it was. And then they engineered a comeback, so I refused to turn it back on. And I just watched it on my phone going back and forth, and it was quite a backdoor. In fact, it was such a big backdoor. It gave us a new first place. Captain Chronoside. I don't know how to say this, but you're good, my friend. You went 14-2, won the week, and are now in first place. Our boy D. Weiss, who's been in first for a few weeks now, is 6 points behind in second. He had the Pats. Ugh.
That's a heavy loss.
Ooh, yeah, he had a rough week. He went 7-9. It was, but you know what? It's the mark of a champion, just like you, my friend. I think D. Weiss will bounce back. That's what it's about. Okay. Everyone has a bad week. Everyone gets blindsided once in a while, looking for your mouthpiece, maybe a little concussed. Champions.
Get the guy in the blue jacket. He's got to come out.
Yeah.
He's got to check you out, put a little light in your eye. Don't worry. He's a non-biased neurologist. He's just going to look in your eyes real quick. Hope they're not dreamy. He might stay there a little bit longer.
Yeah. That's what
I'm loving. Back.
That's what I'm loving about our current hot streak on Picking Duck and on the website, is that it was after our 2 worst weeks of the year. Because that's what champions do. They bounce back. Everyone gets some bad weeks here and there. And when the shit talking gets louder and louder, that's when we're at our best.
You can only poke the bear so much.
I know. It might not last forever, but if anyone listening is actually gambling, don't pay for picks, man. Just take our free picks. We've been killing it. On that note, it was such a good week. I got no shit to talk. I'm loving life. I only have good things to say this week, and I got a lot of them. Uh-oh.
I just can't do it, Spenser. I mean, last week, we talked about it, and it happened again. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The curse of Lennay Kakua struck the Chargers. Melvin Gordon and Brosa went down.
It involves that.
It involves the Chargers?
More importantly, it involves that goddamn Phillip Rivers face. He had 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles. He now leads the league. He surpassed Blake Bortles, the automatic turnover machine, for interceptions. He now has the Chargers with 30 turnovers. And I was flipping between that game and another game, and every time I just got to see that Rivers face. No, guys. He gets hit in the pocket. He fumbles. Melvin Gordon going for the ball, gets hit from behind, hurts his hip, hurts his knee, and Rivers, no, Melvin, no. Fuck you, Phillip. You ruined me. You ruined Melvin Gordon's amazing season. And, more importantly, this was his bounce-back year. All that bounce-back talk Spenser was doing, that's what Melvin was doing. He was 3 yards shy from 1,000, and you got him. Good day, sir. You lose.
Take a fucking lap, Phillip.
God,
And it
I
keeps
actually
getting
feel
worse.
really good after that. I had to get that out.
It's very cathartic, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Like I have like a little bit of a head high going now.
Yeah.
And my dogs are staring at me like I'm a fucking weirdo.
Sports
But,
isn't sports
all right.
without hating. The best part about that, I will say, is when that happened, all I could think was you were Nostradamus. You said if you switch to the game this week and you see Phillip Rivers audible, disaster's about to strike, sure as shit, it was double disaster strike. He audibles, drops back to pass, sack fumble, and down goes Gordon. I mean, it was everything you
Now,
said and more. Philly Riv needs one of those seasons like Cutler had with Adam Gase, where he gets a coach that maximizes what he does well and minimizes his fuck ups. And that is not McCoy, that visor wearing fuck on the sideline that always finds a way to blow leads. I've had enough of that guy.
hang the visor up, get back in your fucking Chrysler Plymouth minivan, and drive the hell out of here, McCoy. You're done.
You done, son. Speaking of done, son.
Ooh.
Another reason I have nothing bad to say this week. Jeff Fisher, former Rams coach, is now fired. Eric Dickerson's pumped.
You know what? I'm happy because Fisher is losingest coach in the history of the NFL.
You know what's sad? In the most Fisheriest fashion, he is not. He is tied for most losing. Jeff Fisher couldn't even win that. They didn't give him the opportunity to win that. So the man goes down in history as this tied for the most losses, which is the most Fisher shit in the world.
They did him a favor.
They got beat down so bad, and it's so sad because the Falcons scored more touchdowns in L.A. in that one game than the Rams have all year in L.A.
I'll say something else. You know, they need to get something exciting going there. Even if they lose, but they lose in barn burners, that's way better than just losing every game. And then the games you do win is 9-6. I'll tell you what, LA fans are not football fans. They're entertainment fans. And they want to see something entertaining, not what Fisher brought to the table.
No. That was beyond bad. They can take those losses. Like you're saying, what if they turn into the Falcons or the Saints of the past 4 or 5 years? You know, always finishing between 7-9, 10-6, but lighten up scoreboards. They'll live with that. They'll enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. You throw some points up on that board, people won't care. So where's he going? I hear Pasadena High School's hiring.
I don't know if he can run that team.
No?
That
Is the offense too high-paced?
I think it is. Ooh, I got something I loved. Le'Veon Bell.
Ooh.
How classic
You
is
stole
that?
mine.
Yeah, that's right. I stole it.
I wanted to talk about him.
Well, I'm talking about him. Snowy game in Buffalo, just slicing and dicing up the Bills in a classic Big Ben shitstorm on the road. But Le'Veon Bell would not let them lose.
Did you see his stat line? I mean, incredible. 298 total yards of offense from one man. I would like to see how many games this season teams like the Browns or the Rams have even passed that number, okay?
He's
Dude's
the only
a
guy
beast.
since Jim Brown to have 10 straight games, or for his first 10 games of the year, averaging 100 total yards or more. He's been smoking fools. Also, quick shout out to your man, Mike Tomlin, 4th coach ever with 10 seasons and no losing records.
Wow. See, that's what a good team does. They just win games, and they do it repeatedly. Well,
Yeah.
If you want to steal mine, I'm stealing yours.
Don't you do it.
I'm going to give a shout-out to your boy, Odell Beckham. Not the most impressive numbers. 9 targets, 4 catches, 94 yards, and only 1 tud. But that 1 touchdown was a 61-yard jam to win the game. He turned a little slant route into a prime time play, and then he did a little dance.
That was a great birthday present. I've been waiting all year to shit more on the Cowboys because I fucking hate the Cowboys, the Dallas fuckboys, and they've been so good. I can't. Well, guess what, you assholes? You fading. You fading when it matters, and we all see it. We all know it. You can say, "Oh, it's just a game or two here or there." No, it's not. Jerry's gonna step in. He's gonna fuck up your chemistry with Romo. I can't wait. And there's nothing better than watching Odell burn you guys again. I was just fist pumping in the corner because I didn't want to dig it in too much. I'm going to wait for the playoffs for that. So I was just doing that quiet pump like a golfer that nails a good 6-footer when it matters. Just, It was incredible because the Giants' offense is still shitty. Like I said, if Odell doesn't take one to the house, they're not doing anything.
So the thing about that game that I found annoying was every time the Cowboys had to punt or Dak had a bad play, they would just scroll that camera over to the sideline and just zoom in on Romo sitting there with his fucking beanie pulled down to his jaw. Like, get the goddamn camera off of him. There's still a game going on.
The worse and worse it got, the more excited. You could see more light in his eyes. It wasn't Dak's fault, by the way. Both of Dak's picks were probably Dez Bryant's fault. The second one definitely was. Dez Bryant either didn't think he was getting the ball, quit on the route, something happened. The other one, the slant was a little off. I would say it was a mix of a poorly run route and Janoris Jenkins balling out.
Yeah, their defense is playing really well, and they spent it in the right places. They need to spend some more on that offensive line or draft because that's a pretty bad O-line. But I wanted to say that everyone's suddenly now talking about Romo. Does Romo need to come in? The Cowboys are still 11-2. Dak Prescott still has one of the higher quarterback ratings in the league. You know?
Yep.
It's not like all of a sudden they've lost 7 straight and they need to reevaluate things. This is only the second game he's lost, which clearly means the Giants have their number. And the fact is, Dez Bryant, you fucking blew.
Dez is having an awful season. 35 catches on 80 targets. Somehow it's 6 touchdowns. Just 15% of his catches go for touchdowns, but it's not a great year. Yeah, if Romo comes in, their passing attack will be better. Their running game won't be as good because teams key in on Prescott on those read options. And I think you might fuck up the chemistry. Also, what people forget to mention, I don't know how, Romo will come in and last 4 quarters, maybe.
Don't do it. Step away from the ledge. You have a lot to live for.
Ooh. Tyreek Hill. My God. Thursday night. Stud. I do love every time he scores, too. The announcers just get queasy because they know they're going to have to mention the fact that he choked his pregnant girlfriend. So it's all like, oh, that Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's an amazing player, but, there's a reason he slipped in the draft. It was also extra special because it knocked Josh out of the fantasy playoffs. All his shit talking.
You're done, Josh.
You're done. You got bounced in the first round by the 6th seed.
Well, it gives him more time to throw on some EDM, throw on his stunner shades, and just dance for hours.
Speaking of getting bounced from the fantasy playoffs, Andrew bounced. All you needed was your boy, Dez Bryant, to get 10 points. And what did he do? He fucked you. Another thing I love this weekend, Vic Beasley, quietly leading the NFL in sacks.
Oh, wow. The Falcons' D stepped up huge. Let's not forget who their coach is. He's a fucking defensive genius. He just doesn't have the players that he had in Seattle, okay? He's getting those players slowly.
He is.
So he has a couple guys in there that are really good. But the systems, the scheme, everything's put in place the same way it was in Seattle. So you're going to see them ball out every once in a while on defense. I wanted to get them and start them that week, but someone else somehow had him and rode the pine.
Your boy RG3 didn't do so hot.
No, he didn't. I was so excited for him. I mean, I didn't believe that the Browns are actually going to win, but I just wanted RG3. I just wanted him to come back and do something.
Maybe this is the week.
But it's maybe. Oh my God. With Rex on the hot seat, if the Browns pull off a win, he's gone for sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got to be.
He's done.
To drop them to 6-8 and Browns get their first win in Buffalo, oh, he's fired. He's fucking fired.
Speaking of coaches, bless his soul, Bruce Arians putting up with a lot. Arizona fucked me once again. It's what I get for betting against anyone in Miami. Miami only has one loss at home. It was a sloppy.
Is Hard Rock Stadium the new 12th man?
I think it is. And that rain, it was sloppy out there. And the Cardinals' special teams is a fucking mess.
Because what does rain bring? Rain brings the breeding of mosquitoes, which carry Ajayi fever.
Oh, it is so real. How do you the Dolphins, man? Now they're rolling with Matt Moore. I still think they could make the playoffs.
Their offense is set up where it's a lot of quick passes, short ones, and then they have a good running game. So as long as Matt Moore can make his short passes accurate, Jarvis Landry's going to get like 12 catches next week.
Oh yeah,
and probably torch Revis for about $120 and 2 tuds.
Oh God, the Jets. That's a Saturday game. Everyone will be tuned in.
Ugh. Ugly game.
You know who else was tuned in? The Bucks. Clam Dingus and his Bucks, despite the tough schedule, are flying. And now, unless the Saints win out and the Bucks lose out, I'm winning my bet with Andrew.
Oh yeah, for sure. We need to let Andrew know that he needs to make a quick little phone call to the pirate ship. Captain Dingus is going to pick up and let him know, "You done, son." And then he's going to hang up on him, pound more of that jug wine as he sails into Dallas. Ooh, you know what? I would like to see Tampa win. I know we're not jumping ahead to pick shit, but we're talking about Tampa. Jameis is firing. Mike Evans is balling. And they're just running like 4 backs out of that backfield now. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, this guy's tired, but get the next guy in there.
And that defense.
Quiz Rogers, Doug Martin.
Oh, yeah. Defense is playing well. Is the Saints offense struggling, or they just play good teams? Because the last 2 weeks, 13 and 11 points.
I know they don't have a winning record, and they haven't in a while. But I want to say the Saints are overrated. Everybody keeps picking him. Everyone keeps believing in him. We get it. Drew Brees has been a phenomenal quarterback over the course of his career. But the fact is, as a team, they are not good. They have not been good for quite some time. And everyone on ESPN still drinks this fucking New Orleans Kool-Aid, a.k.a. the sewer runoff from Bourbon Street, and they're hammered on that shit. They're believing in the Saints way too much. They thought the Saints would beat Detroit. Detroit is amazing. They thought the Saints would beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is playing strong in the back half of the season. And the Saints are not good.
They're not. They're simply not. And that's the problem with Joe Public and most of the analysts on ESPN and all these things. They fall in love with great quarterbacks and high-flying offenses and forget it's a team game. Systems beat players. This isn't college, people. One player's not gonna win you a game. It can happen here and there, but not over the course of a season. You see this shit all the time with the Saints, still with the Packers, who I'm not buying quite yet. And then with the Patriots, what happens? Gronk goes down. Oh, they're done. Last time I checked, Michael Bennett's a hell of a tight end. Is he Gronk? No. But that's a team.
Last time I checked, LeGarrette Blount was still balling out of control.
Last time I checked, Tom Brady was still a fucking quarterback.
And dreamy.
And that Malcolm Mitchell? And Chris Hogan? Ooh.
Great additions.
Dare I say, they've got some weapons. It's just not household names, so everyone falls in love with that. Everyone falls in love with teams that have a ton of offense, and the Saints' defense is trash. Drew Brees can't will them to victory every week. Let's just admit it.
You know what? I'm going to throw out another team here who nobody gives respect to. And I've been guilty of this a couple times because they're just, first of all, they're in a market that everyone forgets about. And they're a team that most people don't really know many of the players on, but they produce on offense and defense. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 10-3, and they're leading their division, and they are in the driver's seat to win the AFC West.
Yep.
But nobody
one
talks
likes
about
him
that.
because Alex Smith isn't the greatest quarterback. He's damn fine, but he's not zipping the ball around the field, not deep passes. So everyone says, oh, it's gimmicky. And on top of that, Andy Reid is a hell of a coach. Yet people treat the Chiefs like there's some disease. Like they're just going to go into the playoffs and get rolled over. Sure, they could lose to the Patriots or the Steelers, but I wouldn't want to play the Chiefs. They're balanced. They've got a great offense, a great defense. No, not great offense, but great defense.
Yeah, they are a good team.
Speaking of not believing, everything I read and everything I hear, people are still dogging the Lions. Have they wrapped up the division? No. Are they the Lions? Yes. But Stafford's playing at an MVP level, and their defense, which was terrible, has only allowed 16 points a game in their last 8. And that includes some damn fine offenses. Washington, they gave up 17. New Orleans, they gave up 13. Then there were some shitty offenses sprinkled in. Jacksonville, Chicago, Minnesota, and Houston. But they're getting 4.5 points this week in New York. New York is not a balanced team. I think the Lions aren't getting enough respect. And we've been talking about it. You better fucking respect Jim Bob Cooter or he'll burn you.
You better respect Matt Stafford. People want to talk about elite quarterbacks. This guy's numbers and his history, he's elite, and he's playing with more athleticism than he has in any season prior to this one. I just watched a highlight earlier of him running it in from like 11 yards out, looking nimble. And don't forget, folks, he can truck you at any time. He can flip that D-pad and just truck your ass.
Oh, he'll get it. Because right now, everyone's still picking the Packers.
Of course they are. Drinking that fucking Kool-Aid in New Orleans and eating that stinky cheese up in Green Bay. Let's talk about real teams.
You and I have been saying it. Rodgers hasn't gotten worse. He's been playing well all season. He's had some bad games. Sure, he's playing better now. That's not their problem. Their problem is their lack of run game, which it's looked better with Ty Montgomery. But their defense is garbage.
I don't care how many more workouts with Sasquatch Clay Matthews has. I don't care how much juice their defensive players are cycling. People score on you at will. You have one good game, it means nothing to me. You're still 7-6 in a mediocre division, and you'll be lucky if you make the playoffs as a wild card.
Better show some respect. Bucks aren't getting respect this week with that line. 7.5 in Dallas. Dallas has 2 home games against tough opponents coming up. Tampa and Detroit. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I want to see him perform. I want to see Dak Prescott under pressure at the end of this season, because just like we were talking about, the media and Mr. John Q. Public himself, after last game against the Giants, that loss, suddenly Dak Prescott, he's done for. It's like he instantly turned 40 years old and lost all of his arm strength, and he needs to retire. People are just giving up on him now. Back off. Leave him alone.
Leave Dak alone.
Leave him alone.
Ugh. Is there anything else you saw this week you interested in?
Yeah, I think Denver had a really weak showing against the Titans, and they had their starter back, Trevor Siemian, who played pretty horrible.
He did. He looked
And
hobbled.
they are getting onto a slippery slope.
Somehow the Chargers are not officially eliminated.
Oh my God, I hear about it all the time on the radio, and people just need to give it up. You're 5-8. Well, technically, we're not mathematically eliminated. Shut up. Quit lying to yourself. You only make it worse.
Right now we're the 13th seed in the AFC.
Yeah, if everybody else loses out and we can win out, then we would have the tiebreaker over this team if this team beats this team by a margin of 2 points. Shut the fuck up. Your season's over. Plan for next year. Start recruiting in the draft. See who you want. Look at free agency. Stack an offensive line and bring in a quarterback whisperer for Philly Riv.
Well, looking ahead to tomorrow night, we don't give a shit. As Richard Sherman said, Poopfest.
It's a poop fest.
Rams opened up as 13-point dogs. That wasn't enough for Joe Public. They're at 16 points.
Yeah, I know this is the Thursday night game, and we're not going to do all of our picks right now, but I'm going to throw out this one just so people can get it ahead of time. I'm taking the Rams to cover because that's a lot of points. And what happened the last time they played?
They won.
It was 17 points scored total. I don't think the Rams are going to win, but they're not going to – I don't want to say they're not going to let a lot of points get scored because what the Falcons just did to them was criminal.
I hate to admit this, but I'd be more willing to take the Rams if Fisher was the coach. The one thing he did well was play the Seahawks. He beat them 3 times in a row. Last 3 games, they've beaten the Seahawks. But maybe they're invigorated by this. They'll come out and do something. Or they're just going to lay down like dogs and get stomped. Do you know who their interim coach is?
Who?
Jim Fossil's son.
Jim Fossil's son.
Yes.
He doesn't even have a name. He is just known as Jim Fossil's son.
That's all I'm giving him. Oh,
you know
what his name is? John Fossil.
Can we make Eric Dickerson the celebrity guest interim coach for the last 3 games of the season? I mean, let's be serious.
Why the fuck not?
It's not like they have a chance to do anything. Why not? Make it a fucking publicity stunt.
One stipulation: he has to have the Jerry curl.
Oh, I don't know. It's too short notice, dude. He would have to wear a wig, and then that's just fake.
This is L.A., okay?
Make it a celebrity reality show, and each game a different B-list celebrity. Fuck, maybe we could get some A-list celebrities out there. I don't know. But make it like some fucking celebrity game show where each week one of them plays the role of coach.
I like that. Speaking
you want to talk about marketing? You want to talk about entertainment? Get fucking... God, I don't even want to say it. Fucking Kanye West and Kim Kardashian as the coaches. You will have every viewer of their goddamn stupid show out there watching their first ever football game.
Oh, man, Chloe would be on the sideline just getting railed by half the team and all their abilities would immediately diminish.
Maybe she could go to the other sideline.
Ooh, she's like the Monsters from Space Jam. If you touch her, your skills just go out the window. Speaking of entertainment, I was so excited to hear that they're adding the skills competition back to the Pro Bowl. I used to love that shit as a kid. I've never cared about the Pro Bowl game. But those QB competitions and those skills competitions were amazing.
Yeah, I always enjoyed those. And the Pro Bowl game, at first when I was younger, I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I realized that these guys are just half-assing it out there.
Who would be the worst quarterback in a skills competition? Like a shit quarterback that could just dominate. You think that's when Bortles would show up? There's no pass rush, no one to intercept him. Maybe he's just dicing it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or probably Phillip Rivers, actually. Someone who would really want to win it. I could see Philly Riv.
You know what? Yeah, no. How about this one? Brock Osweiler.
Oh, even better.
They have like the longest throw. They have like where all you do is just pick up the ball that's on like a bunch of trays in front of you. You don't even have to move. You just pick them up and throw them at like different random circles. Dude, I mean, he's got a big arm. We know that. And he has no pinpoint accuracy, but those circles aren't small.
Yeah, maybe
I
he
would
could
say
do it.
Osweiler just takes it, dude.
Osweiler takes it to the house. One last thing I'm excited for. Do you see ESPN 30 for 30 is doing the XFL?
Oh, he hate me.
Yeah.
Greatest XFL player. He hate me.
He was.
Rod Smart.
Ooh, that? I'll one up Rod Smart. There's only one man greater. This man led the Steelers to the playoffs.
Tommy Maddox.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Tommy.
That is right.
Maddox. The only XFL champion quarterback. No one can take that away from him.
Greatest of all time of the XFL, I would say.
There's no debate with that. He is the greatest. Well, we don't need to talk. We'll make our picks tomorrow. We'll get on here, talk a little bit more shit.
Sounds good.
We're not going to mention Thursday night. We did enough. It was the Poopfest. We'll say who we're picking, and we'll immediately move on. And everyone get your picks in. This week's coming down. We got some big interviews coming. ESG said he would come on. The song you all hear in the beginning, Houston rap legend. We're all from Houston, so we got to give our shout outs. I know we don't have southern accents, but we got to give our shout outs to our hometown, the city of syrup, Screwston. So we're going to have ESG on maybe next week, maybe the week after. I don't know yet.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be great. You got anything planned tonight?
Yeah, tonight my wife and I are going out to a concert. It's a band from Austin called Walker Lukens. They are playing at the Casbah in San Diego. They are on their, I believe, second North American tour. They played the Troubadour in L.A. last night, sold it out, fucking rocked the stage. I'm really stoked to go see them. And besides that, looking forward to Christmas break. Taking a little time off work to spend with the family. That's always great.
I saw a show last week. I saw Empire of the Sun live at the Novo downtown.
So good.
It was good. And I'm telling you, I've seen them before, but they when I used to do music festival photography, they've upped their visuals. If you can handle your shit and you know what you're doing, I would highly recommend you eat some hallucinogens and you go see that. I wasn't prepared to, so I didn't this time.
If you can't handle yourself, don't go, because you make it uncomfortable for everyone else who's there when you're trying to enjoy this music and you look over and some dude is like holding onto a pole with his eyes like turned back in his head and he's like melting. You're like, wait, who the fuck is this creature next to me?
Moderation or none at all, just pace yourselves. Otherwise you'll end up like me at the Rose Bowl. But that's a story for another time. We'll get into that later. I'll get into that on the Rose Bowl. I'll do a special podcast where I share that story.
Live from the parking lot.
Cheer and Loathing at the Rose Bowl 2014.
Ooh, do a flashback episode.
Ooh, yeah.
I love it.
Thanks for coming on. We'll get ready for our picks tomorrow. Short week for us.
It is, but it's always great, and it's always a pleasure. I'm out.